For many of us, we only actually got interested in the global economic system when it all crashed around our ears. A few years ago, 2008, the famous Lehman Brothers crash and the ensuing stock market crashes around the world. That's mostly when a lot of us got interested. And people call that a credit crunch. And the word credit comes from the Latin word credo, which means I believe. It talks about belief. It talks about a trust. It talks about the real use of money actually being designed as a way of building relationship between people. Actually, you lend somebody money when there's a relationship. That's what the word credit means. Sadly, the relationships have been sucked out of the global economic system, all done by Autobots and auto trading mechanisms and computers, and no relationships. Hence why mutual building societies are the ones that survived. Hence why you saw with the subprime mortgage crisis, people lending money to people on the far side of the United States who they didn't even know. The relationships have been sucked out. And I saw this loud and clear at a meeting I was at Lambeth Palace not long after the crash. I sat round the table with some folks who were the heads of the banks, heads of the Financial Standards Authority, and I hoped it was going to be a kind of a group confession, but what was said was quite incredible. Folks said, we've got to remember that this isn't a moral crisis, that this is an economic crisis. And we were kind of going, seriously? Are you seriously saying that? And somebody else spoke up and said, yeah, we've got to remember that in the last 30 years, there have been very few losers. I mean, the only losers are those as yet unborn. And a few of us at the table were going, can you believe that 5 minutes earlier somebody had said this is not a moral crisis, yet somebody had said it's fine to mortgage our children and our grandchildren? And absolutely incredible stuff. It made me realise that actually the importance of this discussion of straddling the worlds of the church and finance, the church and economics, because as you can imagine, after that conversation, a discussion about the need for ethics and economics ensued, at which point one of the other heads of the bank said, well, it's all very well to talk about introducing ethics into economics, but we're so multicultural now, it's hard to know whose ethics to introduce. And at that point, I'm banging my head against the table because I'm going, I can't believe that these are the titans of industry, that these are the kind of the top men. And they're saying this around a table in Lambeth Palace, opposite the Archbishop of Canterbury. Goodness knows what's being said at the top of a building in Canary Wharf. And this is after the most embarrassing financial escapade of the century. What was being said 12 months ago? We need to make some trouble. This is not a situation we could be happy with.